Hi guys and welcome to the channel. My name is Sam Evans. Today we're going to be talking about free agents in 2022. Now there are actually some big names that will be available in 2022. 2022 NBA free agent rankings are up on Hoops Hype. So I'm going to have a look at those rankings and I'm going to see, are some of those players really available, and of the ones who are available, who are the best? Okay. After the disappointment of the 2021 NBA free agency class, with the way it fell apart due to certain players somewhat surprisingly signing extensions, the focus will now shift to the 2022 class, which has some elite names headlining it. Of course, the problem is a few of those names, like Luka Doncic and Trey Young, will almost certainly re-sign max extensions as restricted free agents. Others will opt out in 2021 and hit the market early. But there are other elite talents set to become available, like Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Bradley Beal. As you can see, however, the 2022 NBA free agent class should be loaded, and barring a 2021-esque extension-filled snooze fest, the drama should be high when some of those top-tier names start taking meetings with teams. Below, let's check out how Hoops Hype rank the top available free agents. Now, personally, if I were doing this article myself, I would have two lists. I would have a list of all the free agents available and all the free agents that are really available. Clearly, Luka is going to re-sign with Dallas, so he's not really available. Is he the number one best free agent technically available? Yes, obviously. Clearly he is. Not only is he a phenomenal superstar player, he's also, 22 years old. So you've got to factor that into your rankings. Luka, a dominant scorer and playmaker and a great rebounder for his position. He also manages to come up clutch time and time again when needed. No, he doesn't. No. He was one of the worst clutch players in the league last year. Yes, he played clutch in the playoffs a few times, and he was insanely clutch in that sixth game against the Clippers, where he scored that three, which was one of the all-time greatest buzzer beaters in NBA playoff history, in my opinion. However, he wasn't really that clutch last year. And part of that comes down to the fact that he really wasn't shooting the three very well last year. He only shot 31% from three last year. However, this year, he's now shooting 38% from three, and I think around about 9 attempts per game. That's good. His shooting has definitely improved. So I think his clutch performances will start to improve, and we'll start to see some more highlights of Luka nailing step-back jumpers at the end of games. That'd be sweet. All right. He's a player who can do it all thanks to his craftiness and elite instincts with the ball in his hands. That is the only probably little drawback there to Luka. He's a lot like James Harden. He does need the ball in his hands to be truly effective. And sometimes when Luka's not playing well, because he's a high usage player, the team goes as Luka goes. So the team kind of more than likely lose a game if Luka isn't playing well. Fortunately, Jalen Bronson, their backup point guard on the bench, has had an excellent season this year. And he, I believe, will be a highly sought after commodity, potentially becoming he will become a starting point guard somewhere in the league eventually. Luka's 2021 stats, 2020-21 stats, 28.6 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, 8.9 assists. His rebounds are down by 1. His assists are about the same as last year. 1 steal, that's the same as last year. 48.7% field goal percentage. His two-point shooting has actually decreased a little bit this year in terms of his accuracy. It's down to 55% from 57%. But obviously his three-point shooting has significantly improved. Now it's at 38%. His 2020-21 earnings are at $8 million. Wow, what a bargain that is for Dallas, eh? $8 million for Luka Doncic this year. Career earnings of $22.3 million, and obviously he's got that big contract from the Jordan brand where he'd be making probably more money than he's making playing for Dallas. This year anyway. Number 2, Leonard, the KW. I'm sure none of you call him that, but I do. Is Leonard the number 1 pick here in this draft? He is. Because it's very possible Very, very possible, in fact, that he could go elsewhere. In fact, I think it's likely because I don't see the Clippers winning the title this year. And I don't see his fit with Paul George as being ideal. I think he's better on a team like the Raptors where they had a good point guard. Now, I think the Clippers are a bit of a strange team. I think they'd be much better off playing less ISO ball if they had, say, a pass first point guard. Now, I know they've tried to address that by recently trading for Rondo, but Rondo is done. Sorry, guys. I love Rondo. I love Rondo. He was great for the Lakers in the playoffs last year, but he's done. He's old. He's older than old. He's an opinion now, and maybe he's a leader, and his leadership could be good for the team. But I fear that if he's not playing well and he's barking at players, they might not like that too much. We'll see. We'll find out. If not for load management, Leonard would be a perennial MVP candidate. Yes, I agree. Definitely. Even so, he's so smooth on offense that he has even made pull-up mid-range jumpers cool again, and his defense remains among the stingiest in the NBA. Has he made pull-up jumpers cool again? You be the judge of that. I say no. Pull-up jumpers are never going to be cool again unless the NBA changes the rules or something. But damn, he's good at them, isn't he? Damn good at them. 2020-21 stats, 25.9 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 0.5 blocks, 51% from the field, 38.7% from three-point range. His earnings, $34.3 million. Now, I think Leonard will be wanting at least a 4-year contract at a maximum salary. That makes sense. And I think any team in the league will be willing to give it to him. The question is, does he want to make more money by staying with the Clippers, or would he prefer to go elsewhere? Now, I think Leonard doesn't care about the money. Really. I think he doesn't care about the money. Have you seen that dude? Have you seen what he drives? Have you seen the old beat-up truck that he drives? It's cool. I like it. He's not about the money. I like the dude. So, I think very good chance Leonard goes elsewhere. Will he go elsewhere if the Clippers win the title? No. He stays. The Clippers win the title, he stays. Chances of that happening? Maybe 10%. Therefore, he's likely to go. Okay. Number 3, James Harden, Brooklyn Nets. Same deal here. Harden, Nets win the title, he stays. Probably on a 2-year contract, I reckon. Although he's getting old now. Maybe he'll want 4. But are the Nets going to win the title? You never know. They're the most enigmatic team in the league. With these guys, anything could happen. They could all end up fighting each other, or they could come together and play incredible basketball. You never know. Who the hell knows? Harden, top-tier scorer and passer in the NBA with a driving ability that's extremely difficult to stop thanks to his strong right shoulder and propensity to draw fouls by flopping. Oh, did I just say that? Flopping. No, Harden doesn't flop. Never. What are we talking about? Okay. Clearly, he does. He's very good at it. Refs fall for it. He shoots a lot of free throws. Although this year, his free throw numbers have drastically declined from previous years, where he was shooting, I think, 12 plus, which is good to see. Now, Harden is getting older. I think he'll be 32 this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, 32. So I think it's likely he'll want a long-term contract with the team because he's recently had some injuries. He likes to go to the club. I mean, he's getting older. And you know what? If you were 32, you'd probably want a 4-year contract as well. So that's what he'll be aiming for. Will it be with the Nets? I say, if the Nets make the finals, he stays. They don't make the finals, he leaves. That's my prediction. His stats this year. This year he's really changed his game a little bit. He's shooting less, passing more. He's averaging 26 points per game, 8.2 rebounds, 11 assists, 1.3 steals, 46% from the field, and 36% from 3. KD. Guys, have a look at this image here. Here's KD complaining. That's what it looks like anyway. Maybe he's complaining that he's about to get another injury, because maybe he is. This dude is getting old and he's becoming injury prone. So who knows with this guy? But there are so many bad teams in the league that I reckon many of them would want to take a gamble on him. And we've already seen KD likes to join super teams. He's pretty much orchestrated this super team. He told Kyrie Irving he wanted him to join him at the Nets. Same with DeAndre Jordan. Not that that makes any difference, but anyhow. And then also, obviously, he was the guy who told Harden, come down, buddy, join with us. We can all play together and we'll be a big happy family and it'll be wonderful, right? Maybe it will. Who knows? But clearly KD has shown by his actions this year and by joining the Warriors super team after they'd already won 73 games. Best team, best regular season team ever. And then KD joined them. KD has shown he likes to play with other good players. So in my opinion, he's most likely to be the one who, regardless of what happens in Brooklyn, wants to continue playing with Harden and Irving. He's that kind of guy. He's just not really the alpha guy. He wants to play with other big name players, and that's all right. That's who he is. KD is one of the purest scorers the league has ever seen, no doubt. He's able to drop in buckets from all three levels at extreme difficult efficiency. Yeah, that's true. And he does it as a 7-footer. Still the same player he was pre-Achilles injury. No, he most definitely is not the same player that he was pre-injury. Nobody ever will be the same player they were pre that serious of an injury. There is just zero chance of that happening. He has to have lost at least a few percent of his mobility. And I would say, more than likely, in the playoffs, we'll see a decline from Durant versus his last season in the playoffs. Probably a pretty big decline, I think. I think that's where the wheat will get sorted from the chaff, or however they say that, right? I don't remember. But sifted, whatever it is. But I think we'll find in the playoffs, KD won't be quite the same player he has been. He's getting older. His injury history, that's going to be evident. However, Brooklyn will still offer him the max at the end of the year, regardless of what happens. More than likely, he stays. Trey Young. Trey's going to stay in Atlanta. Is he the number 5 available free agent? Technically, I don't think he's available, really. He's going to re-sign with Atlanta. But let's have a look. Bradley Beal. No. Sorry, guys. Bradley Beal is a better player than Trey Young. Really, just because he's bigger and he can defend. And Trey Young he tries hard, but he's a terrible defender. Let's be honest. Bradley Beal can actually hold his own on that side of the court. Beal is the better player. I would put Beal in here I'd probably put him here in at number 4. I'd drop KD to number 5, and I'd be dropping Trey Young to number 6. Beal has turned into one of the best 2 guys in the league over recent years. He's an explosive scorer who can throw down dunks in the half court and hit jumpers from all over the place, even those with a high degree of difficulty. This year, he's averaged 31.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.2 steals, 48.5% field goal percentage, 34% from 3. Beal's a better shooter than that. This year, it's some kind of strange anomaly for him. He'll bounce back. He'll shoot better the next year or for the next few years. The dude's a damn good player. Hopefully, he moves out of Washington, joins a team with better potential. And he does have a fairly good plus minus, so I don't believe he's the reason they're not doing well. I believe he just needs more help. So Beal's going to leave. He's off somewhere else. He won't stay at the Wizards. He won't stay at Washington. He'll be off. So really, probably the second best available free agent. Leonard and then Beal. Simply because, really, Harden is probably more likely to stay at Brooklyn. And KD, he'll stay in Brooklyn. Therefore, that makes Beal the second best free agent on the market. Question is, where does Bradley Beal go? I think maybe New York. I know New Yorkers whiffed on free agents for years now. They've had a terrible record on getting a free agent to come. I think there's a good chance. Bradley Beal, New York. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Where do you think Bradley Beal is going to sign next year? Number 7, Kyrie Irving. Irving is an extremely crafty ball handler who has a deep bag of tricks with the ball in his hands. He's able to hit jumpers of all kinds, including quick pull-ups and difficult-to-contest fadeaways. Stats this year, 27.8 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.3 steals, 51.6% field goal percentage, and 40% from 3. He's played very well this year. That's a fact. He's played extremely well. And I'm actually surprised. Actually, legitimately surprised by how well he's played after multiple injuries over the last few seasons. Multiple injuries, and I think mostly with the same knee, too. Irving has had a fantastic year. However, he and probably Trey Young are two players here who not every team would want. That's my opinion. Young's still very young. Young is young. So he has plenty of potential. However, Irving is perceived by some teams, by some circles in the league, as being a locker room, I wouldn't say cancer, but as not being a positive impact on the locker room. However, that might not be relevant. I think that he will stay in Brooklyn, more than likely. However, if they don't make the finals, Irving may leave. I think out of the 3, Harden, Durant, and Irving is the one most likely to leave. I think most would agree with that. More than likely, end of the season, I'm going to say Irving is gone. Harden and Durant are still there. That makes Kyrie Irving potentially the 3rd best player in the draft who is available. However, next, we've got the big man, little in size, but big in heart, Steph Curry at number 8. Number 8 for Steph Curry. Whew, that's low. Do you think Steph Curry should be number 8? I'm not sure. I'd have him above Irving. I think he's a better player. Curry is the greatest shooter in league history. That much is true. I love Ray Allen. He was my favorite player when he's in the league. But let's face facts. Let's just face facts. Curry is the greatest shooter in league history. And his range is unparalleled. His quick release and tricky ball handling make him nearly impossible to defend adequately. He's a very underrated passer too. However, he has an injury history. And he's been injured recently. Those things are definitely going to affect him, considering he's now in his 30s. So I think he stays with the Warriors. I think he does the safe thing. They do the loyal thing. They re-sign him to a max contract. So I don't really perceive Curry as being on the market. Jaren Jackson in at number 9. Oh, that's interesting. Jackson is a poor rebounder for his position. In fact, he's an exceptionally poor rebounder for his position with only 4.6 rebounds per game. But he's a good shooter. He's a prototypical modern big man thanks to his unique ability to stretch the floor on offense and protect the paint on defense. That is true. He can do plenty of scoring off the bounce. He's shooting 38% from 3 this season and scoring 15.5 points per game, getting 1.6 blocks. He's a good player. I think any team would want Jaren Jackson, but whether I'd rank him at number 9, I don't know. Would you rank Jaren at number 9? Zach LaVine? No. Jaren Jackson is not more valuable than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. Zach is a damn good basketball player. One of the most freakish athletes in the league who has developed the rest of his game, especially his shooting, to match his unreal leaping prowess over recent years. He's an excellent bucket getter from 3, the mid-range, and the basket area. He's averaging 27 points per game this year, getting 5 rebounds, 4.7 assists. He's shooting 51.1% field goal percentage. That's pretty damn high for a player in his position. And he's shooting 42% from 3. Absolutely sensational. You know what? I have no idea how these guys have put him below Jaren Jackson. I mean, Am I seeing things here? Let's have a look again. No. Jaren Jackson, number 9. Zach, number 10. Weird. Okay. Sorry, Hoops Hype. You're wrong on this one. Michael Porter Jr. This dude can play. Man, this dude can ball. And good on Denver for taking a risk with him because he was seen, I remember, as being a huge, significant injury risk. Some doctors even said in his draft profile and analysis that he may never, ever be able to play properly in the NBA. So the fact that Denver went and picked him at number 13, honestly, good on them for taking the risk. And why not? Number 13, you don't normally get a star at number 13. But this dude is developing into a star. He can really shoot the ball. He's not number 11 though. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a better player than Michael Porter. Michael Porter's good, very good, but he's not better than Gilgeous-Alexander. 2021 stats, 16.6 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 1 assist per game. He's shooting 53.6% from the field and 45% from 3. This dude is an elite 3-point shooter. I say, though, he stays in Denver, signs a contract there to stay there, and Denver will essentially become, I believe, a super team with Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter, and Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Between those four, this team is going to be damn good, and I believe they have a very good chance of actually making the NBA Finals this year. There, I said it. I know. I sound crazy, don't I? But I think they can do it. We'll see. Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the craftiest players in the league who uses a tight ball handle and unique body movements to keep defenders guessing, usually making them look foolish. I don't know about that. He's a great shooter as well, despite a quirky jumper. He is a good shooter. That's true. In fact, he was critiqued before he was drafted as being not a good shooter because of his weird jumper, but he's obviously proven those guys wrong. Awesome. He's averaged 23.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 51% from the field, 41.8% from 3. That dude will get a max contract. A lot of teams would give this guy a max contract. He's a superstar player. Colin Sexton. All right. Colin's at number 13. Where would you put Colin? Do you think he's a good player? I've noticed that Colin has significantly improved his shooting and, in fact, his all-around game since his rookie year. This dude has significantly improved, and I've got a lot of respect for that. Feisty, explosive point guard who gets you into you defensively and has the quickness to get to the basket with ease on offense, as well as the shooting ability to knock down shots from the outside or pull up to hit them from mid-range. Now, Sexton is not a great defender. He tries hard, but he's not a great defender. So I'm not sure what Hoops Hype is on about here. His stats in 2021, 23.9 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 47.6% field goal percentage, and 37% from 3. He's a good player. I think 13 is the right position for him. Deandre Ayton. Would you put Ayton over Sexton? This is a tough one. Very close. I'd probably go with Ayton, actually. And the main reason being, Phoenix are winning with him in the starting 5. Phoenix are winning. The Cavaliers suck. So if 2 players are equal thereabouts, then the player who's winning is the player that I'd pick. Ayton is an athletic center with elite rebounding, but who still has to figure out how to be more consistent on a nightly basis. You can say that for a lot of players. Fantastic finish near the basket with a solid face-up game from the mid-range. Stats this year, 14.5 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.1 blocks, 61% from the field, 23.5% from 3. Ayton, I think, really to be a max contract type player, which I think he has the potential to be, needs to learn to shoot the 3. If that dude can learn to shoot the 3, he's got huge potential. Number 15, Jimmy Butler. Wow. Jimmy. Jimmy has been the freaking man this year. Without Jimmy on the court, Miami are pretty much guaranteed to lose. with him on the court, they've got a damn good chance of winning the game. So Jimmy Butler is one of the most underrated players in the league, which is hard to imagine considering how well the guy played in the NBA Finals and playoffs last year. He was a legit superstar. Jimmy Butler at number 15 is mental. Utterly, mind-blowingly stupid. Yeah, okay. There are probably 28 teams in the league who would take Jimmy Butler before Colin Sexton or DeAndre Ayton. That's a fact. If you want to win, get this guy. He's proven it wherever he's gone. In Chicago, they won games with him. In Minnesota, they won games with him. In Miami, straight up, NBA Finals appearance straight away. This dude is a winner, and he's not number 15. One of the best two-way players in the league, who is an extremely efficient scorer despite lacking an accurate three-pointer. Uses the foul line to make up for lack of outside shooting. He's an elite defender both one-on-one and as a helper. Stats this year, 21.4 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 7.2 assists. Look at that, 7.2 assists. He's really improved his passing. 48.5% from the field and 20% from three, but he barely shoots from three. All right, where's Jimmy going after this year? I say Jimmy stays in Miami. Yeah, pretty good chance. He won't opt in. He'll sign a new contract, maybe for 4 years, and play out the rest of his career in Miami. It's a good fit. Miami is a good fit for Jimmy. Number 16, Kemba Walker. Wow, this is a loaded draft class. Kemba has really not lived up to his potential, and he hasn't really played as well as people expected him to in Boston. Now, obviously, he's playing with some ISO-type players with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Those guys, they're not really big passers of the ball. So it's not really been an ideal situation for Kemba Walker, in my opinion. Plus, he's in his 30s. He's getting older. Number 16 probably feels about right. Personally, I would pick the number 17 player, though, over Kemba. The number 17 player is Julius Randle, who has been fantastic for New York this year. And I think this guy is one of the most underrated players in the league. Randle has become one of the most versatile big men in basketball with a super diverse game. He's able to hit threes, drive it on slow-footed opponents, and set up teammates for easy looks. He's a good passer. His stats this year, 22.9 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 6 assists, 46.5% field goal percentage, and 41% from three. 41% from three. This guy can shoot. The fact that this guy is at number 17 and, you could only maybe put him ahead of a couple of guys shows you how deep this draft class is. Incredible. Number 18, John Wall. Number 18, John Wall. Interesting. John Wall may not be the athlete he was before all the major injuries, but still he is one of the faster point guards in the NBA. He's a streaky outside shooter. This year he's averaged 20 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 7 assists. He shot 40% from the field and 31.8% from three. His true shoot percentage is extremely low and is a big part of the reason that Houston have been losing games this year. I wouldn't have John Wall in the top 20. The fact that they have John Wall above Drew Holiday is an embarrassment to this list. This list, the validity and credibility of this list is pretty much shot if you've got Drew Holiday below John Wall. Holiday, well, he shouldn't be in this list anymore anyway. Maybe they can remove him now because he's just signed a 4-year contract with the Bucks. Good on him. I like Drew Holiday. He's a good dude. He's a good locker room presence. He's a 100% effort defender, and he's been good for the Bucks this year. Even if the Bucks' record has declined, I think that may be more due to other things that have affected the team. Holiday is arguably the best defender at the point guard position, and despite not being a top athlete, he still has the ability to get to the basket and finish thanks to his high basketball IQ and his size for the position. Yeah, I'm not sure about size. He's not the biggest dude. But anyhow, his stats this year, 16.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists, And he shot 50% from the field, which is really good for a point guard, and 38% from three, which is also good. I think the Bucks made a good decision. They've been criticised, but I think they made a good decision in keeping Drew for the long haul, re-signing him to a 4-year contract. Chris Paul is in at number 20. Wow. Crazy. Chris Paul is such a valuable player. The dude is a winner. He wins everywhere he goes. It doesn't matter where he is. I don't remember him ever missing the playoffs. Has he missed the playoffs? Maybe his first couple of years in the league. I'm not sure. Ever since then, though, I know for a fact that he's made the playoffs. Clippers were there every year. Houston were a much better team with him than Russell Westbrook. Then he goes to OKC. They make the playoffs, defied everyone's expectations, took Houston to 7 games. Now he's at Phoenix, and look what he's doing in Phoenix. The team is sensational this year. What have they got? The second best record in the league? Second best record in the league. I mean, who would have predicted that? Phoenix. Look back at Phoenix last year, middle of the season, and if someone had said to you, if Chris Paul joined Phoenix at that time, they'd become the second best team in the league, would you have believed them? No, I don't think you would have. So this dude is a freaking winner. This dude is, even at age, 36, 37, he's still extremely valuable player. And I wouldn't have him down here at 20. I don't know who I would put him up in front of. But this dude is a winner. And I think that he'll probably stay in Phoenix. So he's probably not likely to become available really on the market because Phoenix are doing so well with him there. Getting up there in age, but he's still one of the top point guards in the league with an unstoppable mid-range game and excellent floor vision. That's for damn sure. The dude is playing so well at this age. Incredible. Stats, 16 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 8.7 assists per game, 49% from the field, 36% from three. Number 20, we've got 21, Mikael Bridges. At Phoenix, 13.3 points per game. Now, I would say I think Jusuf Nurkic is the better player out of the two of them. But he has an injury history, so you've got to take that into account. So maybe not. Russell Westbrook in at 23. I wouldn't have him here at 23. I'd probably drop him lower. Terry Rozier. Now, Rozier, this is a good one. Terry's had a good season this year. He's an explosive point guard who can get hot quickly and knock down shots from all over the place. Looks to score first usually, though he is a decent setup man. I don't think he's a decent setup man. He's never really been a great passer. This year, he's averaged 20.3 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3.4 assists. He shot 46% from the field, 47% really, and 41% from three. He's shot the ball extremely well this year, and I think the reason that MJ likes Terry is because the dude trains his ass off. I think MJ respects people who are like him. And MJ was the ultimate competitor in training, on the court, wherever he was. And I think Terry's a similar kind of dude. He's shown MJ that that's what he brings to the locker room. So I think Terry Rozier has significantly increased his draft stock this year. And I would say he's in line for a contract, probably maybe $30 million a year. Maybe 4 years and $30 million. Whether or not he stays in Charlotte, though, I don't know. Number 25, Spencer Dinwiddie. Another major injury makes his future slightly cloudier, though he should bounce back well again. Great size for a guard and a nasty pull-up mid-range game. This year, he's averaged 6.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3 assists, but he's barely played, so those numbers are not really relevant, and they don't really show you the kind of player he has the potential to be. Marcus Smart is in at number 26. We've got Chris Boucher in at number 27. This is an interesting one. Chris is an excellent player, and Toronto have done well developing him. He makes an insane impact during his time on the court. He's an outstanding shot blocker and outside shooter with his feet set. He must work on not trying to block everything. I don't know about that. He averages 13.2 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 1 assist, 52.7% from the field, 41% from three. He's the perfect example of a 3-and-D player. And this is exactly the kind of player that I think every team in the league would want. As in all 30 teams, if you ask them, do you want CB? I think all of them would say yes. All of them would be willing to pay for this guy. That will increase his value on the market. Supply and demand. Number 28, Montrez Harrell. He's definitely less valuable than CB because of his inability to shoot the three. However, he's a high-energy guy. I think these kind of players, though, who don't shoot the three are always going to struggle a little bit in the playoffs because you really need spacing. TJ Warren in at number 29. Aaron Gordon in at number 30. Norman Powell in at number 31. He's probably a player I'd put a bit higher, Norman Powell, because he's such a good shooter. He's shooting 44% from three this year. Then we've got Mitchell Robinson, Eric Pascal, Serge Ibaka at 34, Jonas Valanciunas at 35. This dude seems like he's been around the league for an eternity, but he's actually not that old. I think he's still in his 20s. This year he's averaged 16.2 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 55% field goal percentage, 31% from three. He's a good, valuable center. I think that he will probably stay in Memphis. Next, we've got JaMychal Green, number 36. Number 37 is Kevin Huerter. Number 38, Robert Covington. Covington this year has struggled a little bit with his shooting. And I'm not referring to his three-point shooting, which has been excellent. I'm referring to his just field goal percentage, which is down at 41.7%. However, Covington is a huge part of the reason why Portland have won 31 games this year and are in the position that they're in, number 6 in the Western Conference. Robert Covington is an extremely valuable player, and I would say most teams would perceive him as a lot higher than number 38. His defense is exceptional, and he shoots the three. So he's another 3-and-D player. Jeremy Lamb's in at number 39. Wendell Carter Jr. is in at number 40, although he's restricted. Will Barton's in at number 41. Dante De Vincenzo is in at number 42. Dante is an unusual player. I love his energy. He's huge with his energy, and that makes a huge difference to his game, and I think it really helps the Bucks lift their energy. He's willing to dive for loose balls, do the dirty work defensively. He's an improving three-point shooter and a very solid athlete, which is unusual for a white player, let's be honest. His shooting this year he's shooting 38% from three. I think Dante he's really improved actually, and I think that's going to increase his value this year. But more than likely, Milwaukee will match, if not offer him a contract before the end of the year that he signs. Lonnie Walker's in at number 43. We've got Marvin Bagley in at number 44. Now, isn't this ridiculous? Marvin Bagley drafted before Luka Doncic by the Kings. Seriously. This will be one of the worst drafts in history. Marvin Bagley before Luka Doncic. I still can't believe that actually happened. Did I just say that? Did that really happen? It did. Wow. All right. Marvin, he's a lefty big man with a good amount of skill, but he's lacking in strength and toughness down low. If he can improve that, he'll be a more well-rounded power forward. He's averaging 13.9 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 50% from the field, and he can shoot the three. He's shooting at 35%. Miles Bridges comes in at number 45. I might even put him above Bagley. Blake Griffin, number 46. He would probably stay in Brooklyn. Bobby Portis is in at number 47. I would say he is the more valuable player between he and Blake. I'd definitely put Bobby above Blake. If you look at Bobby's numbers, he's a great floor spacer. One of the best floor spacers in the league, in fact. He likes to shoot threes from the corners, and he's an enforcer for his team, but not much of a rebounder. Although I don't know about that. He's averaging 6.8 rebounds per game off the bench. So that's pretty good. His stats, 11 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, like I said, 1.1 assists, 53.3% from the field, and 47% from three. 47%. Wow. Josh Richardson at number 48. Now, this just shows you how low his stock has dropped and fallen. Josh Unfortunately, it just hasn't met his expectations, and I think he really hasn't lived up to his full potential. I don't think he did that in Miami. I don't think he did that in Philadelphia. And I don't think he's doing that now in Dallas. I think Dallas are unlikely to re-sign Josh. I think there's plenty of other players here in this free agent class that they'll go after. Very streaky outside shooter, but has a decent pull-up mid-range game he can fall back on. Now, no one wants a mid-range game. It's just not the modern NBA. He's much better defensively, where he can defend multiple positions and use length to pick up steals and athleticism for blocks. He's probably an overrated defender from advanced statistics. He's not as good of a defender as what people think. This year, he's averaging 12.6 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 43.4% field goal percentage, which is very low, and 32% from three, which is also very low, especially considering he's playing with Doncic. So I'm sure he's getting plenty of open looks from three. He just isn't hitting them. Gary Harris is in at 49. Next is Ivica Zubac and Thomas Bryant, Rodney Hood, Derek Favors, Chris Dunn, Tristan Thompson, Jalen Bronson. Whoa, no. All right, big mistake here. Clearly, whoever wrote this article hasn't done their research on Jalen Bronson. Jalen Bronson is a winner. He's a plus player, and that's unusual for a point guard coming off the bench. He's a lefty point guard. He's got a great pull-up game. He can shoot. He can really shoot the three. He can pass. He's a high-energy player. This year he's shooting 40% from three and 54% from the field. His plus-minus is right up there. He will be in demand, and it's possible Dallas could lose him. Now, I'm a big fan. Dallas is my team. I really hope they don't lose him. Please, guys, re-sign him. Please. Keep Jalen. Let's be honest, Jalen, no, don't stay, mate. You're good enough to be a starter. Jalen should go. He's not the 57th best player in this draft. This is ridiculous. Guys, wrong. Move him up. Have a watch of Jalen. Far out. Number 58, Avery Bradley. That's probably about right. Whoa, Joe Ingles. No. Joe Ingles is leading the league in true shooting percentage at about 73%. At about 73%. This is an egregious, terrible, disastrous, horrendous, incorrect ranking of Joe Ingles, my countryman from Australia. Now, Joe, even though he looks like a maths teacher and has the athleticism of, I don't know, an energetic turtle, he is a phenomenal basketball player and a huge, huge part of the reason why Utah is the best team in the league this year. His plus minus is the best in the entire team and one of the best in the league. I believe he's top 10 in plus minus in the league, plus 5 per game. He's averaging 12 points per game. He's getting 1.6 turnovers, 0.7 steals, 4.1 assists, 3.7 rebounds. He's shooting 87% from three. His effective field goal percentage leads the entire NBA at 71.4%. He's leading the league, basically leading the league in three-point percentage at 50%. Tony Snell's shooting a high percentage, but he's shooting like 1 3-pointer per game, so I'm not even going to rank him. So Joe's leading the league in three-point percentage. He shoots 5.5 threes per game, and he's shooting them at 50%. This dude is the real deal. He's the real deal, and he is an insanely good role player that basically any team in the league would want. Guys, let's look at these advanced stats. Look, BPM, plus 4.5. True shooting percentage. Guys, true shooting percentage, 73%. If Joe finishes the season with a true shooting percentage over 72.5, he's currently at 73.2. If he finishes the league over 72.5, he has the greatest single season true shooting season in history of any player in any position ever. I'm assuming you just heard me, yeah? 73.2%. He leads the league by a wide margin in true shooting percentage. That is not a player That is not a player who is ranked number 59. Now, Joe is one of the best role players in the league, and he'll be in huge demand. Number 60, Goran Dragic. Dragic is getting a bit old now. Ricky Rubio is in at 61. Anthony Simons is in at number 62. Delon Wright. Delon Wright. Delon Wright is an undervalued player because of his hesitancy to shoot the three. However, he's an exceptional defender, and he's a plus player. Every year he's played in this league, he's been a plus to every team. His plus minus has been in the plus every year, and that's unusual for a bench player. Extremely unusual, in fact, for a bench player. Delon Wright is underrated, and I would have loved if Dallas had have kept him. He's a part of the reason Dallas isn't as good this year as they were last year. Yep, it's true. Delon Wright, solid backup point guard who is an able scorer, rebounder, and passer as a bench player. Great pickpocket on the defensive end and really good instincts jumping passing lanes. This year, 10.2 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 46.5% field goal percentage, and 36.7 3-point percentage. He's not a number 63. I'd put him in maybe about 45. Robert Williams from Boston. Cole Anderson is in at 65. Patrick Beverley, 66. Thaddeus Young, 67. Derek Jones Jr. at 68. Thomas Satoransky is in at 69. And I think he probably will be in more demand than you think, simply because he's a good backup point guard. And there are plenty of teams in need of good backup point guard. He's averaging 8 points per game, 5 assists, 51% from the field he's shooting, and he's shooting 40.5% from three. Marc Gasol's in at 70. I think there's a good chance Mark retires after this year. Corey Joseph, 71. Aaron Holiday, 72. Taurean Prince, 73. George Hill in at 74. George Hill's a great three-point shooter, so he may go a bit higher than this. And that's the end of it. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed my analysis of all the free agents available this year. I hope you've learned a little bit about maybe Joe Ingles, just what he's bringing to the Jazz this year and just how important he is to the team. I think they will be really keen to re-sign him, maybe at $15 million a year for 2 years, maybe 3 years. And obviously there are some other players here who are strangely low. Guys, I'm really interested to know what you think. What are your top 10 free agents for next season? Who would you pick? If you're a GM, which of these players would you pick? Guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.